Perfect. Thank you everybody for joining. What we're going to do today is our quarterly Q&A, where every quarter we tend to get together and ask the questions that we haven't answered you yet. So I had a number of phone calls, voice messages, and text messages. These are the questions that I have so far. One is templated websites, and the question was, should I get a templated website? Everyone in my area is already using the same company. Also, what landing pages should I have, and what should they look like? That's a great question. I'm going to cover that for you. We're also going to cover newspaper ads. A question came in saying, how do I make the phone ring from my newspaper and print ads? Sometimes I feel like I'm wasting my money. Great question. And I have just the solution. That was a huge issue of ours too when we were doing print ads. And we do have a technique that makes the phone ring. Marketing on a budget. The question says, let's just say I'm cheap and I have no money. What's a good marketing plan if all I had was $1,000? Well, we have a $1,000 marketing plan, and I'm going to put that together for you. You're going to get the download as well for being on this show. And then there's a question about Facebook versus Instagram. What do I use and when? So, okay, let's get right into it. So the first question was templated websites. So should I get a templated website? Everyone in my area already is using the same company. Also, what landing pages should I have and what should they look like? So I'm going to give you guys this. Let me minimize this. I am going to give you guys this Word document so that you have this for your own notes. But basically, I have the bullet points of all the main landing pages that we've used. And before I get into the landing pages, I want to address the one main concern is that everybody in your area already is using the same company. So I think the main concern on that is like the SEO organic. Like, why would your website come up if there's already hundreds or thousands of other agents already using the exact same template? So I had that same fear, and this is what I did. This is a past session that we did. I showed you guys in the past how to make landing pages from scratch, but I'm just going to pretend that this is a templated based website. So I'm going to show you when you have a templated based website, normally they will change the URL for whatever your URL is. Up at the top will be your logo, your profile picture, and all of your contact information. But if you look at all the templated based websites, the rest of the content is all the same. It's got the same copy, it's got the same photos, it's got the same website structure, so the architecture of the website is exactly the same. So this is what I had to do. When I got my first website in real estate, I went through and I changed absolutely everything. So if there was a photo, so this is a photo right here. I know it looks like text, but this picture of the hand is a photo, so this is a photo. If they provided a photo for me, I would delete their photo and I would upload my own photo. Everything that we did had to be hyper-local. So meaning if your website is a template and it has pictures of palm trees in the background, but you don't live in an area with palm trees, you got to switch out that image in the background. Regardless, even if they do provide you images that match your local area, you really should upload your own image. Because look, if I right-click and hit Save Image, it has the file name. So this image was saved as thinking of selling _1.original, I guess. So what I would do is I would upload all my own photos and I would change the name of the photo to be basically a keyword in your area, like New York homes for sale or New York house values. Perfect. So because this is a house value page, I would probably upload a photo, something to do with houses in New York, and then I would change the name of the image itself to actually be one of the keywords, New York house values, for example. So I would definitely remove any photos, change the name of the photos as well. All of the text that they give you, use that as a guideline for what you think they should be saying. But what I want you to do is basically take that as a suggestion and then make it your own. So you should really fill in as much content as you can, editing every piece of text that they give you, even the name of the URL. So when they give you a website, they're going to say, this is your house value page right here. So you'll click on the link to whatever your house value page is, and then whatever the link up is at the top, you're going to notice it's the same URL at the end as all the other people using the same template. So what I would do is I would ask the company, how do I change the URLs and the page names? I would change everything. So that will get over that fear. You can still have a templated based website, but what you want to do is make sure every piece of content is original and your own. This is going to put you light years ahead of all the other people who don't do that. Even the description of the page, so if I hover my mouse over the tab along the top, that will pop up what the description of the page name is. And you want to change that, the description, the page name, and the tags. I mean, it's there for a reason. Just do what you think you can, but it's a lot better than leaving it blank. Most people, they'll just get their website and the company will change the logo and the photo and the contact info, and that's it. What you want to do is go through page by page and edit every piece of text. So I created this little cheat sheet down at the bottom. It's a checklist. So what you want to do is you want to change the page names. You want to change the page titles. They should be changed as well. The page URLs. Any images on the page, you should remove them and rename them. And all copy should be written with a local spin. Now, there's a company that I suggest. It's called BlogMutt. And this link right here gets you 33% off when you use them. But basically, you could give them your new website and say, hey, we got this new website. Can you guys write? They don't just do blogs, they do writing of content. So you could give them your website and say, can you basically rewrite all of these pages for me? And they will do that for you. Really, really cool company. I highly suggest them. Now, another piece of that question, the original question, is what landing pages should I have and what should they look like? Okay, so this is a laundry list of the landing pages that we use. Obviously, a house value landing page for a person who's interested in selling their home. And then also, obviously, a buyer page. So I called it buyer MLS listing. That's basically a page where a person can enter their information and we are going to email them homes that match their criteria. So they're looking in the city under this price range for these amenities. So those are the two main ones. Every real estate agent should have those pages. But if you want to break it down into a smaller niche, investing in real estate is a huge one. I get so many leads from people that are investing in real estate. So we'll create a page that talks about investing in real estate. We'll do a Google ad and we'll do a Facebook ad. And once you have these landing pages created, it's kind of like a fishing pole. You ever see the guys and gals fishing on the boat? They'll have 30 fishing poles in the water. They do that for a reason, because some bait works, some doesn't. The positioning, the height, like it's all variable. So what you want to do is have as many fishing poles in the water as possible. And so this is just another one, investing in real estate. Townhomes and condos is kind of the more affordable way for people to get into home ownership. Even though with condo fees, it's almost not looking that way anymore. It still is a lower overall price tag. So that's a good one. You should definitely have that. If you work in an area, luxury real estate as a landing page works really good. Not volume-wise, because it's not a lot of people that are searching that. But, man, all it takes is one sale a year, and it could pay for your marketing budget, right? Because you guys make a lot of commission off these luxury listings. So if you were doing a luxury listing landing page, that would make a lot of sense. Waterfront property also, if you live and work in an area that has waterfront property, I would suggest a landing page for that. Not all of you, but some of you do commercial and rural, like farmland, that sort of thing. So if you do, I would definitely make landing pages for that. And you can even break it down into a smaller niche. So if you do commercial, there's different types of commercial, isn't there? There's all sorts of oh, hold on a second. I got to mute somebody here. There we go. Okay, so you guys can still hear me, and I just had to mute everybody there. Perfect. Okay, so we were talking about the commercial, and then bungalows and ranch style homes. So in different areas, in my area, it's called a bungalow. In a lot of places in the States, it's called a ranch. Basically what it means is a home with no basement. And why that's popular is because we live in an aging society, and there's a lot of baby boomers and beyond who are getting older, and they don't want to deal with stairs anymore. And so it is a niche topic where a lot of people actually are searching. And the cool thing with bungalows and ranch style homes is that they tend to have a larger lot size. So it's a bigger lot, it's a larger detached type of property, and therefore the average price point of those style homes tend to be on the higher end. So if you are going to be targeting with those types of buyers, it's a good one to deal with. Relocating. So this was a huge one. We would make a landing page. I even showed you step by step how to do the ads for this in the previous session that we did. You can just go back in the archives and search for relocating. But basically, I would do a landing page in my area for anybody who's relocating to your city. Then once you have that landing page, you do an ad on Google targeting everybody who searches relocating to, and you enter in the name of your city. So relocating to Miami, relocating to Ottawa, relocating to Vancouver, New York, California. So anybody who searches relocating to your city, well, guess what? They probably have a real estate agent, but they probably don't have a real estate agent in your area. Also, people who are relocating tend to have a higher need and do it pretty quickly. And so regardless of the market, they have to move. So in an up market or a down market, people are still relocating because of opportunity, because of job placement, because of different things. So relocating is a huge one that I love that fishing pole. You kind of set it and forget it. You get a couple a year from that program. It doesn't cost you a lot of money because you could probably spend, say, $100 a month on Google Ads targeting people just relocating, and you would get a couple a month probably inquiries. Good deal. Now, here's a landing page that wouldn't have a call to action, but it's a good thing to do, which is things to do in your city. So if you made a landing page that talked about all the fun things to do in your area, that way when you do have a person who's relocating, you could just send them that landing page and it has all the restaurants to eat at, all the places to go see and do, all the attractions that are a must on the list. Also, by doing things to do in your city, you could create that and have them link to you. So if it's a store, for example, like that sells the best cupcakes in town, go do a little article on them and include that on your website, link to their website, and then suggest, hey, maybe you can link to me, put this on your blog, and then link back to me. The more people you have linking back to you, it's kind of like this is more important back in the day. It's not so much anymore. But if a website links to your website, it's like a vote of confidence. And Google used to and still kind of looks at how many links are going to your website. So the more links going to your website, the better. It's like a vote of confidence. Getting into real estate is a landing page that we would make. And it has nothing to, a lot of you are real estate agents and you're like, I'm not hiring and I'm not recruiting. That's fine. But if you put a page about getting into real estate and somebody inquired on that, it's a really good conversation you can have with a person. They have real estate on the brain. You can have a real estate conversation with them and you could work them for referrals. Be like, oh man, you're getting into real estate? That's so cool. Do you know what school you go to? No? Okay, you go to this one. And then you tell them what school. And then you're going to be like, hey, you know what? Since you know other people that are looking at buying a home or selling a home, we can help them out. Do you know anybody? And then you can have that conversation. So it's kind of like a passive way of getting real estate leads. And then partners. All of you have partners, your lawyer, your mortgage, handyman, photographers, home staging, plumbing, electrical, roofing, pools, and the list goes on. So what I would suggest is have a partners page and then go do an interview with each one of these partners. The cool thing is when I did this, I did a partner page for mortgages and I think it was 6 mortgage people in my city, and I did kind of like a resume about them of who, what, where, when, why, how. And it was kind of like a mini interview. And what's awesome is that a couple months later, after I put that on my website, if you Google search their name and anything to do with mortgages, my website came up ahead of them, even ahead of the big banks. So a lot of them worked at big banks, and they had a profile page on that bank. But still, my website came up ahead of theirs. So I definitely suggest you have a My Partners page. And it's not really a landing page for you to do your lead generating, but it's more of a resource for you to lend out. So when you have a buyer who needs a plumber, you can just share that link and it will have a list of all your other people on the same page. I think I saw a question come through. Just let me check that. There's a question. There are only a certain number of navigation tabs at the top of website. What should those be? Well, all websites are different. So let me go to my example. So here's the top of our website, and we actually added a call to action where it says text MLS to my cell number, 905-903-5442 for email alerts. So I really like adding that at the top of our page instead of a big photo of me, because I would actually get the odd text message, and it would just come to me as my cell phone. And I'd look at my phone, it says the word MLS. I'd be like, oh, clearly this is a buyer, or clearly this is somebody that wants to talk about real estate. So then I would take over as a real person. Now, as for the number of tabs, I don't have there's no real number where it's like you need 4 or you need 6. Whatever looks good along the top that isn't too cluttery. So as long as it looks good, let me go to my Brokerage Nation website. So you see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tabs, but the 7th one I have as more. And when I hover over that, it has a drop down of other pages. So you might want to consider that, where you have all of your main call to action landing pages along the top, but then your niche stuff. So I would say have buying a home, selling a home, relocating, and then maybe 2 of your other niches. But say you did something for luxury real estate, and you know that's not really a big piece of your puzzle, then I would put it under the category of more, and then you could have more options. So there's different ways of doing it. You could even have a buyer page. So let me do coaching. So pretend my coaching page is a buyer page. And then when I hover over that, it would say buying, listings for sale, mortgage calculator, land property tax, whatever. So you can have all these different calculators and stuff, and you can have them in sections. So buyer section, seller section, investing section. It really depends on you as a real estate agent. And I would say the main tabs that you should have will be these ones here. So these are the ones that I like. Open houses, MLS listings, and house values are probably the 3 main ones. And then I used exclusive. You could do that. You could also do investing, whatever your niche is. Hopefully that answered that question. The other part of the question, by the way, was of the landing pages that you have, what do you need on your landing page? So what should a landing page include? Well, a landing page should include nothing else except for that topic. So if I'm going to have a landing page about house values, I'm going to have an image that talks about house values. I'm going to have a video that talks about house values. My text and call to action is going to be all about finding out what your home is worth. I'll even embed a Google map of the area that I'm targeting. So put it this way, a person recognizes a face before they'll recognize a name. So because a person lands on your website does not mean that they know that you serve their local area. They're hoping that it does. But if you have a map of the area, they instantly are like, oh, cool, this is my area. This is what I'm looking for. So I'll embed a Google map of the area that we're targeting for no other reason, just to reinforce to the person in 5 seconds or less that this is for them in their area. So you need a call to action that is short and descriptive. Here's the other thing. When I click what's my home worth, we're changing the form down. Anyways, when I click what's my home worth, it pops up and gets their name, phone number, and email. But you'll notice that I don't make the people scroll down to fill in the form. They just have to click that button, and then they can find out what their home's value is worth. So don't make people scroll down to fill in your information. Also, put your contact information big and bold up at the top so that they can call you and email you and text you directly. A lot of people don't want to fill in a form. There's different tools that we use. Let me just see. So open house. Okay. So see this little banner up at the top? It says, don't miss tomorrow's listings delivered by email today. Subscribe now. This is a tool called Sumo. Sumo Me, actually, is what it is. So I will give you a link to it. And I actually already showed you guys in the past, in my archives, I have a step-by-step tutorial showing you how to embed this on your website. And when I scroll down, it disappears, but when I come back up, it will reappear. I can change the colors so that it's not this ugly orange. It could be the branding of your company, and you can change the call to action. You can change it based on what page they're on. So if they're on your seller page, you can have it up at the top that says, find out what your home's worth today. If they're on your buyer page, you can talk about listings. So you can change up the message depending on what page they're on. And it basically puts a mini contact form up at the top of every page that you have on your website. And with this one tool, we get about 8% conversion. So if we send 100 people to our website, 8 of them will be giving us their name, phone number, or email through this Sumo tool. It's amazing. Couple questions. Oh, you were just saying thanks. Cool, no worries. So that's one tool that we use. Another tool that we use is this one down here. It adds instant chat to your website, so it looks like a little smiley face. When people open it up, it allows them to send a question. Hi, I'd like to see this property, ... And when they hit send, that goes to my cell phone as a text message, and then I can reply back via text because I have the app on my phone. It's called Intercom. It's not the cheapest program. I would say most people don't need it unless they have a lot of traffic. If you've got a lot of traffic, this is an amazing tool. It allows people to instantly ask you questions, and you can instantly reply to them. You've seen these tools on a lot of websites for chat support and sales support. While the real estate industry is the same, it allows people to ask you questions, book showings, and have a conversation before they give their name, phone number, and email. And what's important about that is it allows them to ask the question without feeling any hesitation, and it gets the conversation going. Couldn't see where I typed. Oh, it came now. Oh, okay. I hit the little chat button at the bottom. It looks like a little smiley face, and the consumer will click on that. They can type their message, and then they can hit send. And when they do that, it goes to me as a lead, and I can start working them. There's another example. I don't know what page it's on. Let's try this one. If it doesn't come up on here, I'm just going to go to my website. Oh, okay. I don't know if you caught that or not, but when I moved my mouse above the browser to change the URL, and actually I was going to go to a different tab, that triggered this pop-up, and it says, what's my home worth today? So this is an ugly looking version. You can totally customize it so that it has your branding, your colors, your theme. I just wanted to show people that this tool is so cool that it will pop up and allow people to ask you a question and find out what their home's value is. This is also the Sumo tool. So Shihab, if you can make a note, we have to include the link for everybody on these show notes for the Sumo tool, because I think they get a discount as well. The other tool that we use for our landing pages is this one on the bottom right. See where it says, hi there. Let me change that. We were testing that the other day, so I'm going to close it. Okay, so it pops up, it says, hi there. Would you like to receive a free callback in 28 seconds? The client's like, yeah, sure. And then they'll enter in their phone number and hit call me now, or they'll schedule an appointment for later, or they'll leave us a message. I'm getting about 3 of these a day. I mean, it's definitely worth having on my website. There's no better lead than a lead that I could have with a voice-to-voice conversation. So, I mean, I'll pay for internet leads all day, but if I could pay for phone calls, I would pay a higher dollar. And anyways, this tool is called Callpage. You can see the logo down here, Callpage, Callpage. And in fact, Shihab, we have a link for that as well, so I'll include that in the show notes. And Callpage is unbelievable. You can have the message change based on what URL they're on. So if they're on the seller page, they could talk about selling. If they're on the buyer page, talk about buying. And basically no other add-on on our website will generate as quality of leads as this. If a person is willing to talk to us on the phone, that is golden. And it will work on, I'd say, 99% of websites. So if these tools are all copy and paste, they'll give you your code, and you copy that code onto your website. If your website doesn't allow you to do that, then you're using the wrong website, because it's just basic HTML. And man, I'm telling you, if you have a landing page, this formula right here, so this exact formula that we're looking at right now on this screen gets over 16,000 leads a year. With we have landing pages all over, and we do marketing all over, but this is the exact same formula where we have a photo up at the top, a video, call to action, and a form, and a map of the area that we're targeting. Plus, we'll include the Sumo button somewhere on the page, and we'll definitely include this callback button on the page as well. That formula, rinse and repeat. One for buyers, one for sellers, one for investors. Now you got all these different fishing poles out in the open, and now you've got a better chance of connecting with people. Cool. Okay, so I'm going to go on to the next question, which is a little old school. It's not techie at all. It says newspaper ads. How do I make the phone ring from newspaper and print ads? Sometimes I feel like I'm wasting my money. Well, do your newspaper ads include a texting call to action? Question mark. If they don't, this is what we do. So picture a newspaper ad. Normally a newspaper ad will be like one picture of a house and a description, the photo of the agent, the logo of the agent, and contact information. Well, above all of that, you could include a banner, or underneath all of that, you could include a banner. And our banner would say something like this: full list of weekend open houses. Text open house, and then I put my cell number. Or updated, and I did Oshawa as a city example, but you would do updated Miami, updated New York, updated whatever area you're in. So updated house value report, text sold to 905-903-5442. This isn't some fancy paid service. This is just my cell number, and I'll get random people texting me the word MLS, open house, sold, and featured. And if I get any of those text messages on my phone, I know they're a lead, and they probably came from the newspaper or billboard. And we use that for outdoor media, basically. Anywhere a person is at, it's really hard for them to look at your billboard or look at your print ad and then go to your website. It takes a lot of effort for those people to pick up a device, open up a browser, type in your long URL. Like, it just complicates things. Where I'm not saying this is not complicated, because some people even have a hard time texting, but if you've got space, put that as a call to action. So, and we'll change it up every week. So we'll have an open house message, we'll have a seller message, we'll have an investing message. So we'll change it up every week. Every time we do a new ad, we just change the call to action, the keyword, and my phone number stays the same. Some of them would be listings, selling, open house, investing, and getting into real estate. So if a person's thinking of getting into real estate, we'll have them text us as well. So to go deeper on the getting into real estate. So getting into real estate was fun. It triggered conversations with people who like real estate. I'd ask what they like about it, if they know others thinking of moving, and I'd bring that up, that we can they can shadow me and learn the business. We'd do the CMAs together. I'd help them into the business. Basically, I'd leverage the database of that person and help them into the business. It's total win-win. So personally, I didn't have any vested interest or ownership in the brokerage I worked at, so it didn't matter to me. But it certainly created a lot of conversations, because a lot of people some people are just addicted to the real estate section of the local newspaper. So if you have a banner that says thinking of getting into real estate and you have people calling you, I mean, obviously it's going to take a little bit of time, because I would make a Word document that shows them where they get their licensing, how much it costs, how long it takes, and how much they can earn as a real estate agent. I would have that Word document, and then I would email it to them, but I would add them to my database, and I would leverage them as a person, because they're not yet in real estate, but they've definitely got real estate on the brain, so they're like my #1 supporter, right? So me targeting people getting into real estate was a huge, huge win. Cheap listings, so this one definitely makes your phone ring. So what we do is we serve Durham region. So in my area, that is Oshawa, Whitby, Pickering, and Ajax. That's the area that I serve. But we also do further out east. So in the newspaper, the listings out east were always cheaper. So every week we'd pick the lowest price listing that looks good in a photo and we would advertise it. When people called, if the listing was being like 45 minutes away was an issue, we would talk about that and what they were looking for and match them up with homes in the current city they're looking for. It wasn't really a bait and switch because we do serve those outside areas, but like, let me show you. Let me go to Google. Okay, so here's Google. Here's Toronto, Ontario up in Canada, and then about 45 minutes east is Oshawa. So this is the general area that we would serve for our real estate business. In our local newspaper ad, we would run pictures of properties for sale, but we would do the properties for sale that were in this radius here. So just a little bit out and up. A lot of people in this area, Durham region, will move to that, and that is an area that we serve. But the reason why we did these houses is because they had a lower average price and they showed really, really good, because homes out in these areas are detached property with big lots, 2-story homes that look amazing on paper, and they're like tens of thousands or $100,000 less than these other areas, right? So we would not say the city in the newspaper ad, we would just say the price. So 2-story bungalow, or geez, that doesn't make sense. So 2-story detached, 300,000, blah, blah, blah. And people would be looking at that. They're like, oh my God, that's so nice. So they would call us. Then I would get them on the phone and I'd be like, oh yeah, no, that one's just up in Port Perry. And they're like, oh no, that's too far. Oh, is it? Okay, whereabouts are you looking? Oshawa, Whitby, Pickering, or Ajax? Oh no, we're looking in Oshawa and Whitby. Okay, perfect. And then I would script them and go through and have a conversation. Definitely that worked. And I mean, if you're doing newspaper ads, you should be featuring your own properties, but you should also reserve one space in your newspaper ad for a property that is in the fringe of an area that you still serve, that has a lower average price point, that shows really good on paper. So that one for sure would make the phone ring. Another one that worked for us was duplex and in-law suites. So it's different words for different people in the States. A lot of you don't even know what I'm saying when I say duplex. Basically a home, a single home with one roof that has 2 kitchens in it, meaning 2 separate units. So you could rent one out. A lot of people want to live in one, rent one out because it makes it more affordable. A lot of people are downsizing and moving in with their family, like grandparents are moving in and they're kind of looking after the kids. So they have their own space and they have their own unit. So a lot of people are attracted to this. So we always reserved a spot for one duplex or in-law property in our area. And we would just have a call to action that says live in one, rent out the other. And for sure, we had a couple phone calls. I mean, it's so disheartening when you put an ad in the newspaper and you spend $180 or $300 at print ads expensive and not get a phone call. Oh man. I mean, if you look at it from a branding perspective, maybe that's okay, but there's much better ways to do branding at a lower cost. So I would definitely say you need your phone ringing when you do newspaper ads. And those are the 4 main ways that we would make our phone ring from newspaper ads. Speaking of super expensive budgets, marketing on a budget. Question, somebody says, let's just say I'm cheap and I have no money. What's a good marketing plan if all I had was $1,000? That was a hypothetical question that somebody posted. I'm sure they have more than $1,000 because in this business you need it. But let's just say all you have is $1,000. This is a super simple business plan. $1,000 a year would equal $4 for 2 coffees. So I'm assuming you can buy coffee in your area, not at Starbucks, because Starbucks is like $5 or $6 a coffee, but maybe there's a Dunkin' Donuts or maybe there's a Tim Hortons. So you can definitely get coffee for $2 in different areas. I'm just going to use $4 as a general rule of thumb. So if you take 250 working days a year and multiply 250 by $4, that equals $1,000. So if you took 1 new person to coffee a day and added them to your database, I guarantee your business will skyrocket, and it can't get much cheaper than that. Ryan Smith in Burlington. He actually showed me that simple business plan. And thank you, Ryan. Big shout out to you. I love it. It is super simple. And man, it makes so much sense. Like face-to-face conversations is where it's at in real estate. And if you just had one a day and made it a mission, like a non-negotiable, where every day you're going to meet with one person. So I included this little download I'm going to give you. You're going to get this as a template. You can edit this to be your own. Obviously, you don't want my photo up at the top. And what I would do is I would save this as a photo and post it on Facebook, and then I would call people up and say, I need 50 of you to help me out. I'm on a mission. So here's the mission. I'm on a mission to meet face-to-face with 250 of my friends, clients, and associates. Help me block off my next 50 slots. So you definitely want to do 250 of them, but having 250 on one piece of paper is intimidating, it's daunting, it just looks like a never-ending mission. So with this, I broke it down into smaller chunks, and you just do it in groups of 50. And there you go. So I would use this as a reason, reconnect with people, get face-to-face. People are like replacing real connections with FaceTime and social media and all this other stuff, where if you just had a half-hour conversation with people in public, you added them to your database, who knows what conversations are going to brew. That's a good word to use, brew. So who knows what conversations are going to brew from that, and make it a game, almost gamify it. So for $1,000 a year, half that budget, it's going back to you. You're going to be consuming half of that. So like, it is so cheap, man. I definitely suggest you take a look at that. For $1,000 a year, make it part of your business plan. Even time block certain days of the week where you've got the afternoon off. How fun does that sound? Your afternoon is off and you just get to hang out with people. So gamify it, and really, like, once you get 250 people into your database and you start working that database for referrals, even if you do have a database, this is a great way for you to reconnect with people in your database. So there's so many different ways for you to leverage this program. I definitely don't suggest you put your logo up at the top. It makes it too commercial and too sales pitchy. If you're going to post about this on Facebook or Instagram, then I suggest that you include a photo of yourself up at the top, and the people will want to help you. So it's all about helping you out as a person. So there's that tip there. Another question we had was Facebook versus Instagram. What do I use and when? So these are my thoughts. Both are free, both are popular. So what do I suggest? Let me cover Instagram first. So on Instagram, it's generally used as a personal space to share pictures of you as a person, not business related. So I like to use the 90-10 rule, or even 95-5, where 90% is personal and 10% is business. In fact, if you look at mine, it's probably more like 98 too. I very rarely touch business on my Instagram account. It's just Instagram isn't really where commerce is done. Unless you're a big brand, and some of you have big teams and you're like, I'm the number one team in the country, maybe. But even still, like, it's really for Instagram commerce is more for like brands like Nike and Adidas and that sort of thing. As a real estate agent, I would say Instagram is more of a personal space for you to share, kind of like just histories in time that you want to share. So make it positive, share worthy, local. Don't make it all about real estate, because like people are just not interested in that. I also don't suggest advertising on Instagram unless you're targeting your database with a branding message, because lead conversions on Instagram are horrible. So you can advertise on Instagram, but I'm telling you, buyer leads and seller leads, the conversion rates are way better on Facebook. So if they're better on Facebook and you have a limited budget, stick with Facebook ads. The only time Instagram shines, in my opinion, is when you do a branding play and you're advertising to your database. Then go ahead and include Instagram, and you can target the people on Instagram. Question. I was thinking as branding more about the area to someone who is moving into the area. I was thinking as branding for more about the area of someone who is moving into the area. Things to do, restaurants. Yeah, yeah, that's cool. You could totally do that. In that example, so I would actually go to that restaurant and get a photo with the restaurant owner and tag them in the photo and then have a write up underneath about, man, if you're ever moving to North City and you want to eat the best fish and chips in town, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? So, like, really be personal with it. Um, Go to the place and get somebody who you can get a photo with of either them or you and them, including the school. So, you just said schools as well. So you could do a whole school series where you're reviewing and talking about the schools in your area. Meet up with all the schools and ask them what's on the calendar of events. What are the things to look forward to? Oh, hold on a second. There we go. Sorry, Suri started talking to me. And so there you go. So Instagram, definitely, that's a good, what you just said is a good possibility, for sure. I would, some people, all they post about is real estate, and that's just, some of them it works. I'm generally speaking, for most people listening to this, not a good idea. Some of you can school me and teach me, like, yeah, man, this is totally working. Great. If that's the case, do it. But I would say, for general, like 90+% of you listening, Instagram is more of a safe place for you to be yourself and just share what's happening in your life, what's happening in your business, that sort of thing. But don't be too pushy. Um, there are a couple things. So let me go to Instagram. I'm going to show you. So I'm going to show you a couple tips. Following a hashtag. So you can actually search a hashtag and then follow it, which is cool. You could use the Facebook Friends tool to connect with people you didn't know that were actually already on Instagram, and that will help grow your audience. And then posting to your story and sharing it via Facebook is a tool that not many of you are using that you should be. So let me head over to Instagram. I actually installed the app on my computer just so I could show you. Um, okay, so I'm going to do a search here. And let me do Oshawa. So I'm going to search the word Oshawa, and then I'm going to hit tags. And there's a tag right there, Oshawa. So if I click on that, when you're doing this from your phone, there'll be an option, so they don't let you do it on your computer. Okay, interesting. So when you do a search on your phone, it will look like this. It's going to put the popular posts up at the top. So that's another thing. So if these people are popular in my area, maybe I should connect with them. Like, here's a real estate agent right here. So if I was recruiting, I would probably touch base with that person because they have a strong presence. I would touch base with this dance school to find out what's going on the 22nd and if they have any future events that we could blog about. So it's a way for you to kind of watch your local city. But when you do this from a phone, there's a button up at the top here that allows you to follow that hashtag. And then going forward, anybody who uses that hashtag, it will be in your newsfeed. So it's a cool way for you to find people. Let me go to my profile. And there's a little button up here. And look, see my profile? If I scroll down, I don't even know where I'm talking business. Oh, here, that was a business post. So I did one business post, and then the rest were all personal stuff. Instagram, to me personally, is just all about sharing who you are as a person and building relationships and letting people discover who you are, not you showing people what you do per se. But there's an option here. This little gear wheel. I'm going to click on that. And then there's an option that says Facebook friends. So I could search all of my Facebook friends who have an Instagram account. I don't know if I click that. Let's just see what happens. It's going to be, yeah, I'm not doing that. So when you do it from your phone, it's going to pull up a list of all of your Facebook friends, and you can just invite, and it basically, or follow. It allows you to connect with people that are on your friends list. Okay. And then to your story. So let me go back to Instagram. I'm actually going to do a session about this in the future, and I'm going to record it from my phone because it's totally different when you do it from your phone. If it even loads, cool. Okay, so here's all these, it looks like all girls right now, and it is mostly girls that use this feature. So all these girls are doing a story. Stories are basically short-lived posts that will only last for about 24 hours. So why would you want to do a short-lived post? Because it's, you know, it doesn't have a long shelf life. Like, it's not something that you would feature and you would highlight, but it is a way for you to quickly remind people of who you are and what you do. So say, for example, you are showing property for sale and you're in the home and you're looking at it and it's your listing. And this listing has a really cool bar in the basement. Well, you could do a quick little video showing all your friends and family, and you would just click this little plus button and add it to your story, and then people will see that for the next 24 hours. So it's a gentle reminder of who you are and what you do. So if I did talk business, my business talk is more in the stories because it's short-lived, but I'm just trying to gently remind people who I am and what I do. Cool. Okay, so I think there was another question. What are the top 3 social media channels that you would suggest for real estate SEO and or leads? Top 3 social media channels for real estate SEO and leads. Well, that's a tough one. It's kind of like 2 different questions. So the top 3 social media channels is definitely Facebook you should be on, and Instagram you should be on, because that's where the consumers hang out and play. That's where they are. So I would definitely suggest Facebook and Instagram are the 2 main places to be at. YouTube for sure answers both those questions. So that gets you SEO, because look, when I go to Google, if a person goes to Google and types in Oshawa house values or something, it's not going to work right now. Let me just do it. Oshawa house values. Sometimes the video will be up here. And let me see under videos. So look, whoever this agent is right here might not even be an agent, but oh, that's a newspaper. So anyways, YouTube for sure you should be on as a platform, mostly because it's already free and it's tied in directly with Google search. So when a person searches real estate investing seminar Oshawa, there's a chance that you would come up if you had a video talking about that. So YouTube for sure. Facebook is where most real estate agents are getting their internet leads right now as a platform for a social media platform. You say SEO, and SEO is search engine optimization, which is a little bit different. SEO would be for your website, and organic, meaning not paid. None of the platforms really get you organic, not paid leads. Maybe YouTube if you had enough videos. Definitely your Facebook profile, like you as a person, for sure. Those would be the main ones. Hopefully that answered that for you. If not, re-ask the question or let me know in a different way. Cool. Okay. Okay. So that's my Instagram topic. I'm actually going to do a whole session on Instagram live from my iPad. I'm going to try that. Or from my iPhone, I mean, and show you guys. I'll have a guest on who will show you how to blow up your Instagram account. But generally speaking, those are the rules of thumbs that I like. Now, for Facebook, because the question was Facebook versus Instagram, what do I use and when? Okay, so for Facebook, Facebook is more complicated because you have a personal profile and you have a business page. You can boost ads, or you can use the ad manager. Like, which is which? When do you use it? What's going on here? I actually have a long blog post that takes you through this step by step. So let me open this up. We're going to include this URL so in the show notes for them, and you guys can scroll down here. There's actually a video that takes you through this step by step, and I show you all about the difference between boosting an ad. I even give you ad examples. So here's an ad example right here with the text. Scrolling down, boost versus Facebook ads. So the differences between the two and why you should use them or not. So all of this is already done for you. It took about an hour. So I'm not going to go right now and do an hour-long session when we've already done it. It's already in the archives. But generally speaking, let me go up here. Let me just head on over to Facebook. Okay, so generally speaking, Facebook, your profile is 90% you as a person, 10% business. Let me close that. So you really got to keep Facebook on the up and up. I really like the Facebook ads. They're changing right now. I don't know if you follow the news, but Facebook is removing a lot of the targeting options because it shows that people can discriminate against other people. So it used to be an advantage that on Facebook, I could target a specific zip code because that was my farming area, for example, right? Well, now Facebook is under scrutiny saying that people are avoiding the poor neighborhoods, like the lower income neighborhoods, and therefore it's not fair to them for housing needs. And so Facebook is having to change a whole bunch of things. They're removing hundreds of options that we've covered in the past that you guys used to be able to use that you won't be able to use coming up. So those changes are happening right now, this week as we speak, and they're going to continue rolling out. I think one of them was likely to move. That one got removed. So there's a couple really good ones that are really sucks that we can't use anymore. And we're just waiting to find out what the full list is, and then we're going to go over that with you guys once the dust settles. But right now, the storm just started, so we don't have any answers on what Facebook is taking away from us and what we're going to have remaining. What is going to happen is your advertising cost is going to go up on Facebook, so maybe it might be time to consider using Google and Bing and a couple other platforms to average it out and lower it a little bit. Cool. So this session, we do this every couple months where it's just you guys control the show. You ask your notes, you ask your questions, and I address them right on the spot. So some of the answers were better than others, but I think that I had some pretty good answers and examples and downloads that you can have. So I'm going to wrap up this recording, and then we're going to update you with the next date and time and topic. And in between then, if you can think of any other topics that you want, message me anytime, and I'll be sure to add it to my list of future topics and possibilities. If nothing else, I'll be able to add it to our next live Q&A call that I'll record for you. Okay, everyone, I'm going to stop this recording. Thank you.
Hey, if you want to close more real estate transactions, get more buyer leads, and get more seller leads, click this button right here. It'll take you to our real estate group coaching page. Also, if you like this video and want more, you can subscribe by pressing this, or you can check out some of my past videos here. Enjoy!